All right, wonderful. You are back. So much more than what you can perceive occurred in those energy exchanges. But as the days unfold, you will notice your perceptions have expanded. There will be a deeper sense of willingness to be connected, to grow, to evolve, to change. Your consciousness is part of your journey, part of what the journey of the map maker magician is. You are here with purpose, and yet there are no limits to that purpose. It is an exploration. All right, and so we have time for questions. John, who begins?
Monica.
And
Hi, beautiful Tara. Thank you, sir. What a pleasure. And I really feel the vibration in my face and my eyes. In my
wonderful.
eyes. So excited. Beautiful meditation, like always teaching us that there is love. Love exists. Peace.
Yes,
And like you say, elegance in ease. Thank you, Tara.
beautiful.
Oh, thank you, Tara.
Yes, and so where do we begin?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Tara. All right. Well, there I for myself that I'm a creator and I am creating before I have the exchanges of the conversation and the scene. I hope that if we are group that if I'm group, I know you understand that the willingness to make the change. um I so I'm asking that will that be created? Because I'm seeing there's a lot of activity going on around me, and I'm pleasure to have what I have, but I have a lot of eyes on I, and now they're also eyes and eyeing on him, and don't not wish. I know he's good, but I'm like about the creator for protection, enforcement around, does he do exist? And that's my what can you tell me, pretty please?
All right. All right, and so to begin always with your higher self, to know that I have a higher self who is with me always. That belief is a form of protection already, because as you know that it is resonance that dictates your experience of reality, when you are in that resonance of love, in that connection with higher self, you're open to new information, you're open to your intuition, you're open to creating something that is about being loving, that is most optimal. It's not a guarantee. The lesser self wants the guarantee. The lesser self comes from fear. And in fear, the love is not accessible. And so you always want to be sure when you feel anxiety, when you feel doubt or worry or fear, to know that, oh, the concerns that I have right now are those of my lesser self. And the lesser self, by definition, is disconnected. And so what there is always to do first is to remember, oh, remember the love of higher self. Remember that it is an illusion that you are separate and that your higher self is always with you. And it is merely a matter of tuning in to that vibration. Even when I can't sense my higher self. And this is the case for some of you. You are not necessarily sensors. You are thinkers or feelers, but you aren't necessarily sensors of energy, but you are. And so as you sense that vibration of your higher self, and you see your higher self embracing you, cocooning you in light, and then to go about, okay, this is what I'm creating. This is what I want to create. And ask your higher self, is there something more that I haven't yet thought of? Because you are not limited to creating only what you can think. or what you can feel. You see, the tools of creation are desire, imagination, and expectation. Those three are what you use to shape your reality. And so the thinking is actually part of your raw materials. So you use your desire and your imagination to shape those thoughts, to expand those thoughts. And when you have new thoughts, your emotions change as well. The emotions become lighter, filled with light, filled with love. And now there's more energy available, more motivation to take action. And so as you follow that sort of progression again and again and make that a pathway that is easy to follow, through repetition is how you create a pathway. The old pathway is to desire, imagine, expect something new, and then go into doubt and fear and worry. And so you want to break that cycle. You want to be aware, oh, I just did it again. I want what I want, and then immediately what pops up are fears. But the fears are just coming up not because they're going to happen. They're there to indicate that, oh, I have a belief that needs to be cleaned up, that I do not have in the future that I'm creating. I don't have it anymore in that one. And that's why that new reality can occur. But if I'm so tied to holding on to the negative beliefs that I hold, that I'm not enough, that I'm all alone, that it's going to be a struggle, that it's going to be challenging, that someone's out there to get me, those are all beliefs. And they then become attitudes about how the world is. So what you'll notice on certain days, you'll feel that, oh, all is well and I'm in dominion and I believe that I create my own reality and the world's a friendly place. That's an attitude that comes out of beliefs. And therefore you're happy and you're positive and you're optimistic. On other days, something bad happens or something unexpected, not necessarily bad, but just unexpected. And then you interpret that to mean that, oh, I'm not going to get what I want, or that person's against me. Those are also showing attitudes of fear or worry or doubt, coming from a belief that I don't really create my own reality. It's just happening to me. So in order to have the reality where you are creating reality, and you know that you are, you can't take that belief that I'm a victim with you. You have to let it go. You have to change it. Well, I might have been a victim when I was a child, but I'm not a child anymore. I might have needed to rebel when I was an adolescent, but I'm not an adolescent anymore. So I can heal those identities of victim and rebel, and I can take the good from them. Because you see, the child that's a victim learns to receive, learns to be a part of a reality, but isn't intended to always be that way, isn't intended to stay the child forevermore. Your soul has always taken care of that need to evolve. The urge to grow shows up, and then the evolution occurs into the next expansion. And so one thing you can count on that looks like cause and effect, but is actually predetermined by a lifetime that's already been agreed to, not the details, but that you will have a life and that at the end will be an optimal future. That's already been agreed on a soul level. Wasn't always that way. Perhaps when you first came into the physical plane, you felt the density of it. You felt the lack of possibility. But you knew this isn't right. This isn't me. I'm here to create something new. I'm here to have more possibility. I'm here to dream new dreams. And so as you grew, as you expanded, and as more soul energy came into you, you've been creating more and more and more from a place of knowing who you are and accepting that mantle of authority. I am a reality creator. Moving into being a co-creator, coming from your individuality. You don't give that up to be a co-creator. You don't need to sacrifice all that you have become. In fact, it is a requirement to truly co-create in the presence and with God and Goddess. You must know your worth. You must know the value that you bring. You must have that identity as an individual to know that you are a creator. Doesn't make you God and Goddess, but it gives you the right to co-create. And that is who you are becoming. And as you, each of you work with that new image, that new identity, that what does it mean about me as a map maker magician? What does it mean to be a co-creator? What is possible? And so some of that came in from the optimal future, you in dominion already in that new world, co-creating reality. And as the days unfold, some of that conscious awareness is going to emerge. Does that help?
It's very beautiful, Tara. I also had another thing. May I?
Yes.
Um, I felt the words and the vibration and brought me back into one, my higher self. My higher self was in it is right now in full effect. And I always work on the higher self. I always been on the higher self. I believe that when I'm in the kid stage is when I'm laughing or seeing humor, because there's humanity does tend to be humorous. Even there's some great actors. I'm sure you heard of Will Ferrell in the human world. So hilarious. I wanted to share that with you, but I came into focus. It's beautiful what you said. So beautiful. Um, I there was I had a there was someone that a great older wisdom person by the letter of D that I was at a place and I'm creating that hope that I'd like to go see if I can get that place again. And I very religious human person with its own beliefs, and I'm really grateful. I just my next thing is, do I go ahead and uh, with my higher self create that the possible him saying yes again to allow, and if it's meant for me to get that to help my be successful, because I did get success, because he the admiration that he had for my mom, and that is a wonderful person. I will you any input on that, on my thinking pattern to create.
So yes, we do have some input. All right. And so you already know what you want to create. How beautiful, beautifully expressed, and we sense that you imagine it very strongly. So as you, in order to assuage the doubt that is embedded in the question, you simply need to ask yourself the question, okay, this is what I want to create. Why might I not create it? What would I get out of not creating it? And usually what pops up is something like, well, I don't think I deserve it, or I always mess things up, or it's really not my choice. I don't really create my own reality. So something's going to pop up when you say, why might I not want to create that? Because it's going to not have your creation, that which you say that you want, gets to support some lesser self belief about who you are, that I'm not really important, that they're more important than I am, that what they desire is what creates the reality, not what I desire, all of which is not true. But to not have the reality that you want supports those old beliefs that are in the unconscious, in the subconscious, not for no reason, but for you to clean them up, for you to make a choice, to draw the line in the sand and step over it and say, I'm not going to use that old identity anymore. And so as you do that process, why might I not want to have what I want? What do I get out of it? What's my payoff? What's my hidden agenda? And it's something like, well, I get to stay safe by being small. Or I get to be peaceful because I don't become too visible. So there's many answers here but you come up with your own version. We're just putting out some that the group is aware of in their own process. Does that help?
That is so beautiful. And the last thing is, there's an stellar object that so beautiful that it the NASA that got permission from the sky. Just want to like your input. I'm creating, hoping, and wishing that it gets closer to the Earth. Perhaps it would, perhaps the vibration will go back into that fanatic of the '80s era. Um, yes, technology, Tara, is helpful, but it's boring. It's not. People don't really have fun. It's just on a gadget or electricity, maybe a solar flare, and then it's not. I wish that it does go back into that, or it slows down. Your input, beautiful, please. Of I wishing they would
And
get
so
closer.
this is all about you dreaming new dreams. It's about visioning what can be. And along the way of visioning, you begin to choose, what do I want to manifest? So as you let it in as, oh, this sparks my imagination. This imagery, this thought, this idea, this concept sparks something within me. And then to sit with higher self and soul and say, okay, what can we create that is in line with knowing this is important to me? To bring something into form in my lifetime. Does that help?
It's beautiful, Tara. I really honor and appreciate you. And just so I know you gotta go. My
Yeah.
eyes are right now, right? They're vibrating right now. I thought I'd let you know.
Yes, we love you so.
Thank you.
All right. And Francis.
Yes, Tara, greetings. How are you?
Yes, dear one. Where do we begin?
Well, so I've got some interesting things going on. I was um, gifted a wonderful uh, piece of information about what's going on the 4th, and I'm kind of excited about it. It looks like we can make some massive changes this week. We can always do that, but I think we have extra help now. So there's a astrologer psychic named Pam out of England that Kathy Stubbs turned me on to some years ago. And it sounds very, very exciting and very interesting. And I really need some changes. I really, really do. The place I moved into um, turned out very badly. It really did. You know, I'm not good with roommates, and my roommates, as much as I like them, one doesn't speak English, and he screams all the time. he's really, and I share my food with him because I think he's completely, busted. I know the feeling, but I really want to be out of here, by January 1st. So anyway, how can we do this? I really want to be in a place that I love and enjoy, and maybe own. I'd like to maybe own a place. At this point right now, I don't have the finances to own someplace, but I'd like to live the way I used to live, which was very much in dominion and financial dominion, and living on Social Security is livable, but not abundance. I have to limit myself to what I do and when I do it. So anyway, and by the way, I just want to say to you, John and Katrina, thank you very much for the gift of these Monday nights. They're so great. It's so great to connect with you down here on the earth plane, even though I do connect with you on the etheric. I love being able to talk to you, and I'm very grateful for it.
Wonderful. And yes, we feel your love. And so, all right. So there's
Yeah.
a couple things going on in your vibration. So the attention is on what you don't want.
Okay.
And so, how much are you balancing that with imagining and dreaming the new dream of, I want to own a place, I want to have a different environment, this is what's important to me, this is what matters to me. So, out of your day, what percentage of time do you spend dreaming the new dream, and what percentage are you spending on in what so, and this is not what I want?
Tara, very honestly, it's probably 60% of what I don't want and 40% of what I do want. So I probably have to put my focus on what I do want a lot more.
Yes, and so it's clear that this is what's so right now, but if you were to approach each moment as a brand new moment, which it truly is, to create something different, when you put your
Yes,
attention on what do I want my life to feel like moment by moment, who do I want to be in that reality? So you mentioned, well, I'm sharing my food with somebody, so there's a level of generosity of spirit that's there.
yes.
And that
Well,
that
it's always
feels
been like
good.
that.
Yeah, that feels
It does
good.
feel good. Yeah.
Unless you're sharing your food so that that person doesn't become a risk. So, are you doing it out of the gratitude and conscious awareness, or are you doing it out of mitigating risk?
I'm not sure what that means about mitigating risk. What kind of risk would I be taking?
Well, if somebody is starving and down and out, are they safe to be around?
I
We're
think
not saying you're at
80%
risk.
said,
We're just saying what part of you is motivated to share.
well, I would say 100% of me is motivated to share because that's my nature. It's what I like doing.
Beautiful.
But
So that
I,
comes from
I,
you the
I
more.
it happens to be. I don't. I don't think that he's a stealing type of person. I don't think there's theft involved. But I do find that he's very selfish. He's very loud on the phone a lot, and he likes to dominate. And he's in the kitchen an awful lot. And the refrigerator on his part is almost empty. So when I'm making some food, I always offer him some, and that feels good to do that. It really does. So, and I can feel his gratitude, even though he doesn't speak English. I can feel his gratitude. And anyway, so that feels good. But I know I don't want to be in this house anymore. I didn't love the place I used to live, but I this place I like even less. And it's time for some magic and miracles, Tara. It really is. And I can't focus on not having enough and having to compromise into a place that I don't like and is not suitable for me. I want to be in dominion.
Beautiful. Yes. And so clearly for the next month, you must focus on what you do want. What do
Yes,
you want instead?
exactly right.
And who are you in having what you want instead? What's different about the you that creates it from who you're being right now, if anything?
Well, that person is very peaceful and very confident. And in the past, that person was a little bit on the arrogant side and cocky side, and that person is mostly gone. You know, there's a new person of compassion and caring and empathy. Uh, that person is here now, and the other person is not here anymore. So, but I guess I have to have some compassion and empathy for myself, don't I?
So just ask yourself, why does not that, why in the new you that has what you want, that has the reality that you desire, imagine, expect,
Yes,
has the dominion, that has the elegance and the ease and all of that. So the you in the past had the arrogance.
yes,
Does that need
not a
to
lot,
be,
but some
is that
arrogance.
the only way to create the magic?
Not at all.
You see, arrogance,
Not at all.
their arrogance can be entitlement,
Yes.
but the new you could translate that arrogance into confidence.
Well, yes, and it has done that. Now, in the past, there was confidence combined with arrogance, and you know, the fact that I have not had the funds that I used to have, and also being quite ill for a few years, have really brought me down to earth, if you know what I mean. So, some near death experiences were very frightening to me. And, the kind of sadness and maybe depression over not having the funds to do what I want when I want to do them, since I was always used to that for so many years.
And so we're going to ask you the same thing that we asked Monica, which is seeing yourself having what you want, the you that has the new place, that has the freedom, that has the funds, not necessarily in that order, but to have that future of having well-being and abundance and prosperity available to you. Why might you not want it? What do you get to perpetuate from your past? You don't have to answer to the group, but to consider that for
Well,
yourself.
I'm happy to do that. I'm happy to do that. I think that um, maybe not getting what I want and my intimates knowing about that makes them not love me more, but show their love by doing things for me. In
Yeah.
other words, I'm not doing everything myself. My intimates are doing some things for me.
Yes. And if you
Does
were to
that make
give
sense?
that up and just simply receive from them, what would be required of you?
Probably not much. Nothing would be required of me,
What
really.
would you have to change in your belief about yourself?
That I'm good enough.
Yes.
That I'm a real map maker, and I'm good enough to create reality. That I'm a real solid map maker.
Yes. And you already know that to be true. Not 100% of
I
the time.
think so. Yeah.
Each of you have your moments of insecurity or doubt or worry, whatever. But essentially, you know that you are a map maker magician, that you create your reality.
And at the same time, there's a new part of me that is something that I love, where I was mentioned it earlier in the call, that that there's a new level of caring and compassion.
Absolutely.
And I've always been generous, but I particularly am generous, um, really to a fault now. If I have something and I can help somebody and I can share with somebody, I do it. I don't even think about it.
Beautiful. So
Feels right to me,
as
you
you
know?
really just let in, okay, I don't need to be less than to receive what I need. Then me
Good
that
point.
has what I want can continue to receive support from my environment.
Yeah, yeah,
And so as you let that not be so much a hidden agenda, but rather, oh, I don't really need to play that out. If that's the only thing stopping me from manifesting what I want, I can give that up because of who I have become.
right.
I can continue to be willing to receive help from others.
Yeah,
And I can also really let in the love that is there regardless of whether they give me something. Does that make sense?
yeah, I think so. Just an example, I wasn't looking for an electric scooter. They're just very pricey. And a friend of mine said, I have a surprise for you. And he came over with sent me a text message of this scooter that's about $1,600. And he said, here, this is for you. So you're able to go to stores and visit with friends and stuff that are local. And it has a 7 mile range, and then has to be charged again. But I could have never thought about that. That just came
Wonderful.
out of the blue.
Yes. Fantastic.
So I'm going to join Hex Angels now because hell is too strong. So Hex Angels,
Hmm.
and we're all on electric scooters instead of motorcycles.
Wonderful.
I still have a terrible sense of humor. But anyway, just one more thing. I have recently been running into um, older women that I find attractive, that I thought, this may be, the type of woman I'm looking for. But, they're all not available. And there is a friend of mine for over 30 years that I met through Lazarus, and we exchange love all the time. But she's, I guess, in a very happy relationship, and for whatever reason, that never happened. We just never created a love relationship, a relationship, a partnership, which in a way I'm sorry about. But I'd like to open up to having, and we've talked about it before. I'd like to open up to having, a relationship with somebody who's really over 50, you know. And through the years, I have found much younger women more attractive and more appealing to me. And I guess maybe that's ego or operating through my adolescence or whatever. I'm not sure. But, I'm really ready to meet somebody over 50 and, and create something beautiful, create something really nice.
Yes, and so really the only feedback your illusion is giving you is that when you reach for that which you want, a relationship, what comes up is somebody who's not available. So
Exactly.
So you want to look and see, clean up those beliefs around, okay, what's safer about approaching someone who's not really truly available? What is the fear? What is the anxiety? What is the doubt that comes up if somebody were to be free to engage?
Well, I think being hurt is at the top of the list, where things wouldn't work out and I'd be really hurt by it. Or these people, as friendly as they are to me, are not available, and maybe I don't feel good enough, to create a really nice relationship with a lady,
All right. And so you have your reasons why not, but is it worth cleaning that up in order to have the love?
Well, it is worth it. Absolutely, it's 100% worth it. To have more love on planet Earth is a lot better than having less love on planet Earth.
And as you heal whatever that is, from the child, from the adolescent, the fear of loss of love.
Now, maybe you could help me, Tara. Where do you think there's an issue that immediately needs to be cleaned up? Of course, in many areas, but where would you say um, that the area that's most important that needs to be cleaned up right away?
So which age were you when you got hurt?
I haven't a clue,
So then that's
but I
not
would
your
say,
issue.
yeah,
So
I
that's
haven't a
not the
clue.
issue. As you really let in, oh, I say that I'm afraid I'll be hurt, but I don't have any point of reference for it. It's not real. That's not really what's going on.
Yeah. So it's not really going on that I'm afraid of being hurt. It's just a belief, but it's
Well,
not real.
it's a smoke screen is what we're trying to say. But what about if you get love and you lose the love?
Well, that would be very hurtful because
Well, has that
you
occurred?
know
Has it occurred
it
that
has
you've
occurred.
gotten love and you've lost it?
My last relationship was like that. And by the way, the last relationship, um, I was sharing with another person. There was another man involved. I found out later, and there always seems to be, another person involved. And Lazarus once told me a long time ago that my belief was I can't get the love I want because of the other man, which is interesting, you know. And I thought I cleared that up, but maybe I didn't. Any insights on that, Tara?
Well, certainly the scenario that you're encountering even today is of that nature. So somebody who's not truly available for a relationship would be in that paradigm. And so
Yeah.
maybe it's important to make a fundamental choice to change it.
Okay. That sounds like a real good step to take.
And in that choice, you want to have positive impact. So what would be as you write out the script, okay, who's the me that gets to have the love? What does it mean about me that I have the love? Now, if it's a competition, maybe that's not for your highest good. Maybe it's never been a competition, but because of the
What do you
chauvinism, it
mean?
was interpreted that way.
Yeah, what do you mean by competition? I'm not sure.
So we'll just paint a simple scenario which may or may not have happened.
Okay.
So you're a kid, you're wanting to get your mom's attention. Your
Yes.
father walks in the door from a day at work and says, "Hey, let's do whatever." She turns her attention from you to him. And the rest of the
Okay.
evening, you don't get any access to your mother because of
Okay.
their relationship.
Right.
Does that make sense? Something like that.
Yeah, it
That's
does
a
make
scenario
it,
where the
it
child has to wait.
it does make sense. Although in this case, no, it seems to me that she would put more attention on her children than her husband. They didn't have that kind of relationship.
So then,
So it must have shown up
as we
someplace
said, it
else.
wasn't necessarily a real situation in this lifetime.
Could
But you
it
got
be
the
from
idea
another
from
lifetime?
somewhere. You got the idea from somewhere.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, makes sense. Wow. Yeah, I guess I did. And maybe from another lifetime, from another dimension or whatever.
Yes, and as
That
you are here to bring all your lifetimes home, if it's showing up, it's important to address it.
I think so. Yeah, that's a very good idea. It's probably a good idea to address my wellness, and it's probably a good idea to address, my abundance. So, is there anything that you can um, send my way as far as abundance that I need to shift?
So we began with what percentage of time are you actually imagining having the life you want? And
Right.
40% is not close to what is needed to actually manifest what you want. Because
Yeah.
what's happening there is you think about what you want and then you talk yourself out of it. Well, the
Okay.
reason I don't
That,
have what I want is because of this right now. Well, that's not actually true. The reason you don't have what you want is because you lose focus and you focus on what you have right now. So
right.
your role as a reality creator is to desire, imagine, and expect something new, not what you have already.
Yes.
Because if you only put attention on what you have already, you just get more of that.
Right.
So you
That
need
makes a
to put
lot of sense.
energy into this isn't what I want, but I know what I do want, and I'm going to spend a few moments feeling as though I have it already. What do I want
Right.
to feel like when I have it? Well, I don't want to feel disregarded or depressed or upset. If I have what I want to feel good. And I want
Right.
to feel expanded and I want to feel hopeful about the future. And so you spend a few
It,
moments generating all of that. And then you ask
that is
yourself,
a
okay, what
really
am I doing next? What do I want to do next?
that is a very good point. Absolutely. I guess I bought into the illusion too much that I'm not good enough or I'm not worthy or
Or
I don't have enough or
the illusion of this isn't what I want and I'm stuck.
right.
So you're right on track. So spend
Well,
time
Tara,
seeing
thank you.
yourself with the new reality and it will come faster than you think.
Yeah. And thank you so much as always for the love and the direction that you send myself and others in. It's very powerful. So, you know, you, John, and Katrina are just a gift in my life, and probably others feel that way too. So, thank you.
Yes, we love you so.
Okay, love you too.
All right, John, who is next?
Actually, Nicole has a hand up. Did Nicole, did you have a question, a quick question, or can it wait till later? Nicole?
I was going to reinforce some and ask Tara maybe to elaborate on it. What's her name? The young lady who spoke earlier
Oh yeah.
about, I've just been, a friend of mine sent me the new blending that Lazarus has. where he's telling us that to say to our body, in a sense, he's saying the body is not who we are. And then to repeat it or to say to yourself, that's my interpretation. I am getting older and I'm getting wiser. So
Yeah.
therefore, my body's getting older, I'm getting wiser. And then you suggest that you repeat that to yourself to make a new pathway in your brain about that. And then there's another thing also, harmony conversions, where he's talking also very clearly in the meditation, power of choice, that we're not just a little thing. We are powerful, but we have to really use our ability to choose, in knowing we make powerful choice, and when we make the choice, it is going to happen.
Yes,
I was
indeed.
thinking also while you were saying that to really go also uh, to the womb of belief, a image, and then change my image also to become to talk to myself and my herself about these kind of things. This is who I am, and the identity. That's my identity also.
Beautiful. Yes,
And
absolutely. Very helpful.
Cool.
thank you.
All right. We love you so.
Thank you very much, Dad.
And John?
Henry is next. Thanks, Nicole.
Thank you, John.
Hello, Tara. How wonderful to be with you again. Um, is the echo okay, as far as we know?
Yes.
Yeah,
Seems to be very good.
Very good, thank you. Um, after we talked last Monday, I probably was in the best mood and in the best place that I've been in one of the times ever. I just felt so on top of everything and so excited and happy. And I actually, really, for the first time ever, physically felt my higher self with me. Actually, just stood behind me, and every time it slipped away, suddenly it was there again. And I was just thinking, oh my God, this is just amazing. And I wandered out and had some conversations with people, and they were amazing. And so everything was wonderful. And then the day after, it changed, and I was just finding it difficult to get back to that. I've been working with the optimal future self, although I tend to kind of phase out towards the end of having them. We're working with the bedbug thing, having them come up with solutions. And I was just wondering if I'm actually the solutions were coming through, and I'm actually missing them because I'm in a kind of very stuck place at the moment with. I still haven't told the landlord, and just ginning up just how completely upside down my life will be if I have to have all this, the heat treatment and everything like that. And I'm just thinking I can't do it. It's going to be too much. I have to throw so much away. And then on the other hand, I'm thinking maybe it's good to just get rid of all my stuff. But then, there's so much of my creativity and so much of my organized things which aren't organized, so I won't be able to do taxes and things like that, and it's I was just getting very today. I was just getting into a thing with, well, I'm just going to have to die. I mean, how else can it be? And kind of starting to accept that in a way, and thinking, no. And then, and but it's very flat. And um,
All right, so let's pause at that point because you've said plenty to help us assess what is your focus of attention on. So you have a solution, but you don't have more than one. And there are things you're avoiding doing because you don't want to hit the go button. Let's get this changed. Based on the information you currently have, you have a solution you don't want. And so
yeah,
as you really let in, oh, okay, I haven't really dreamed a possible reality that I want. I've gathered information and I've been given solutions, but I don't like the one that I'm getting. So instead of following the system of okay, this is what I don't want, what do I want instead?
yeah,
So as you really let in, the freedom comes from really understanding that I have choice to create some variations on a theme. Okay, I want to feel at home. I want to feel my value as a creative being.
yeah,
I want to be free to be. I don't want to be. This is where it immediately goes into what you don't want. So I don't want to be at the effect of the bed bugs. I don't want to be at the effect of other people's authority. I don't want to have solutions that are inconvenient or that could damage what I value. So now you know what you don't want. So what do you want instead? Is the next question. Well, what I would like, what would be fun to have would be this, 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 this. And so that's the way you begin the desiring and the imagining and the expecting something new. You
yeah,
don't have it yet. You don't even know the possibility of it yet. It doesn't matter. Your job is to desire and imagine. The expectation will be weak automatically at first until you begin to get feedback from your illusion that, yeah, that's possible. Yeah, we can make that happen. Then your expectation begins to build. But coming from a place of, this is what's so, and I'm resisting it. I'm resisting, resisting, resisting. And you know the saying, what you resist persists.
yeah,
And so all of your attention is on what you don't want when it's there. Or your attention's on, well, I felt my higher self. I can even remember how it felt to know my higher self is with me. But now I don't feel it. I don't sense my higher self. Am I going to choose to sense my higher self again? Or am I going to focus on I can't right now?
yeah,
So you see, there's two parts of Henry. There's Henry, the one who's the doubter, and there's Henry who's living life, experiencing new things, who's creative. And as you know that the doubt is the safety, it's much safer to stand still and just doubt that you will ever have what you want. It's not true. It's not a higher truth. It's what's comfortable. It requires the least amount of effort. It requires you to simply stand still. But how long does it take before you get bored? Well, 5 minutes, maybe less. So when you step into the creative you, there's life force there. There's mattering. There's wonder. There's joy. There's creativity. There's passion and power and magic. It's all over here in new possibilities. And so when you get stuck in what's so, and you start thinking, well, that's just the way it is, and I might as well die because this is all I'll ever have. And you know that that's already a lie. that that's just a pattern of
Yeah.
thought, a pattern of behavior that's avoiding making decisions or being creative or moving from one position into something unknown.
Hmm.
But that you, the lesser self, really just needs to know that you are you the more, and you the more has solutions. And the solutions are in the different resonance, they're in the creativity. And so as you really let in, okay, there's two sides of my coin every single day. I probably I might wake up into joy, but then I look around my place and I realize, oh, I had a few bites last night. Oh, and then the catastrophizing starts. This is a problem. And it's much easier to fix this problem and never fix it, to mull it over and consider all the possibilities and really accentuate this is a problem. But what if I didn't do that? What if I go and have my breakfast or whatever and I start dreaming what I want without reference to what's so right now? What if I focus on how I want to spend my day and what's possible and what do I want to create next? And what do I do? There is the issue of, well, I have all my space is full. Perhaps we don't know. We haven't seen it, but my space is filled with creativity, creations that remind me of who I am. They're there as touchstones. If they're there to remind you of pain, get rid of them. But if they really truly remind you of who you are as the mapmaker magician, as a reality creator, then keep those in your space and fill your space with that. Allow yourself to really immerse yourself in the you that is creative. Does that help?
Yes, I mean it. Yes, it's just I've got this idea from having read that
Well, so you had an idea,
I've just
but you don't like the solution, so look for another one.
yes,
You've already decided it's not what I want to do. So instead of spending weeks rebelling against something you don't want to do that you're not going to do because you're rebelling, ask the universe for more choices. I need other solutions
right. Well, yeah,
because it's an illusion.
yes, I know. It's a very, very real illusion at the moment.
Well,
Um,
yes, it's keeping you grounded and anchored in the now. Very uncomfortable.
yeah,
So there is the part of you that's saying, encouraging you, pushing you, hey, let's change this. This state is uncomfortable. This state is unacceptable. Too much of your attention is on the problem. But as you don't like the solution you've been given, ask for other ones. Ask for more.
yes.
Or
Well, yeah,
or become clear that, okay, this is what I have to do. This is what I'm going to do. It sounds good. We haven't heard you say that it sounds good, so we're assuming that you're rebelling against it.
well, it doesn't sound good, but is that what you mean?
Yes. So you're clear that I don't want to do it. And I don't want to suffer. So I need more choice.
Yeah.
I need new possibilities that haven't been gifted to me yet by the universe. So universe, get busy. Bring me something new.
Well,
And what does that require? It requires you to value yourself, to know that you matter,
Yeah.
to know it matters that I have a reality that allows me to be more of who I am. That when things occur that are out of my control, that are manifestations of whatever, bugs of any kind are disturbing to most of you. You can sit on the couch and process, why do I have them? But that doesn't make them go away. Usually, once it's manifest, now it's in the illusion. In order for it to no longer be in the illusion, a change needs to occur in the resonances that manifested it in the first place. So as you recognize, okay, so the purpose of these bugs is for me to create more choice. That's what I'm going to learn out of this. That I have access to more choice than I thought. That I don't have to settle for one choice. I don't have to settle for the automatic consensus answers. When I see something that sounds like consensus and it's not what I want, I'm going to activate my magic. I'm going to activate my desire and my imagination to bring in new energies so that I get a different solution. Something that is easier, more elegant, with harm to none. Except for the bed bugs. I don't want the bed bugs, so it's okay if they get hurt. We're joking, of course.
No,
The,
well, I mean,
the bugs will just disappear. They will in your illusion, die. That's how they will cease to exist in your illusion. Because that's the belief, you see. You have a belief that once a bug shows up, it doesn't go away unless you kill it. What if you had a different belief? What if you had a belief that, well, they're part of the illusion and I can choose for that illusion to change? Or
well,
I can do something minimal
yeah.
that isn't going to be forever toxic or damaging to my environment. I'm going to come up with some solution that's really elegant, really easy, takes me 2 seconds. And before I know it, they're just not part of my life anymore. Now, one of those solutions that you thought of was, we'll get a new mattress. That sounds easy.
Well, except I don't have a bed. I mean, I sleep on a sofa, but
Get a new sofa. As you let in, okay, well, no, I don't want that solution. I like my sofa.
no, I'd love that solution. But the whole bedbug thing is about you can't throw anything out unless it's been treated in some radical way because it's just going to give them to everybody else. But
Yes. Interesting. Having impact. So look in the area of I know I'm having impact, or I'm afraid I'm going to have massive negative impact. And it creates anxiety and a lack of motion. I don't know what to choose. And that is from past lives, as you know. So as you go back in and ask your higher self, okay, which lifetime will clean up all the lifetimes around having massive negative impact? Because in my reality, I have created a positive version in that it's quite innocuous, bed bugs.
it's quite innocuous.
Yes, meaning in comparison to what happened in past lives.
Hmm.
Death and destruction and destroying worlds. There are many much more extreme versions of having negative impact, you see.
Yes.
So the bed bugs are sort of benign, but they're weighted by other lifetimes. So ask your higher self to take you to the one that will clean them all up.
Right.
And then have your higher self and any other beings that need to come in, Lazarus, us, whoever you want to be there to clean it up. And what does cleaning up mean? Usually it means forgiveness.
Yeah.
Really, truly forgiving yourself for whatever role you played, whether you were the victim or the perpetrator or both. Just really let yourself forgive it. I could have done it differently. I didn't.
Right.
I wasn't able to change the belief. So as you
Yes.
really let that be so, then the bed bugs can mitigate.
They're getting a bit out of hand now.
Well, yes, they would be. The longer you wait, the worse they get. And not because, well, there is the biological function of procreation, but the longer you wait, it's because you're not dealing with the issue, so it's getting louder.
Yes.
You're right on track, Henry.
Oh.
So
I,
ask the universe for new choices.
yes. The thing you said about I got rid of ants and something else just by thinking, well, just tell them to go away.
Yes, yes, but with bed bugs, for some reason, you're worried about them going away and harassing someone else. So
Well,
that's why it's about negative impact.
I think they're harassing someone else anyway, but they're supposed to be they're terribly difficult to kill.
Yes, and what would be a more beneficial thought?
Well, they just leave.
Yes, begin there.
Yeah. It was very interesting when talking about relationship with Francis, because I think maybe well, many lifetimes actually, but I think the lifetime I may be dealing with is um, losing a relationship
Well,
because
there's that too, but that's not the bed bug issue. But in regards to creating a relationship, a new relationship, yes, there's the weight there. But you have been working with that. And there comes a point where you get to choose. I have done the work. Done the work, and now I can forgive myself for not letting it be done sooner
you mean with the bed bugs or with a relationship?
with a relationship.
Yeah.
Maybe with the bed bugs too. A similar theme of taking too long to make a decision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I just sit around all day not getting anything done
Yeah.
because I think I'm going to. There's so many other things. Everything's changing, and I'm not keeping up. That's a
And as you
yeah.
really let it go that you have to keep up, just let that go. That's an illusion. You see, true change is instant.
Yeah.
It's not efforting. So the illusion of, oh, things are changing so quickly, I have to keep up. No, you're changing, and therefore the change is reflecting in the illusion. You see, if you
But
weren't keeping up, it wouldn't be there. It's a resonance. So you're in a resonance of change. I'm
yeah.
expanded. I'm expanding and I'm expanded, and therefore there are more variables. There's more activity in my illusion. I still get to choose what to focus on. But as you let yourself be at peace around that thought that I'm never going to get it done, I'm never going to catch up, that creates a pressure that is an illusion. What does that pressure serve within you?
Or just to think I just give up.
Okay, so just give up.
No,
But that's not
I,
really what you want, and it's not really a solution, is it?
it's not a solution. And today it's been very present with me, and I'm just getting worried about that.
So as you understand, the worry is healthy. The worry is that's not the way to go.
Yeah,
Is telling you that the thought, I'll just give up, doesn't solve anything.
no, I know.
It's not a solution. It's a default, you might say, peacemaker behavior of I'll just take no action. I'll just cease to exist. That'll show them. But it's not why you're here. Your soul is urging you to grow, to be present, to function differently than before. Meaning to move into that creative energy that you thrive on because it's of soul and it
Yes,
activates spirit, and reality happens magically. Change is in an instant. So you're defaulting back into the old, but then you feel the discomfort of it, and the quicker you get back into you, the less the discomfort. The discomfort's there to let you know this, what I'm in right now isn't right for me.
yes,
So I need to move back into me the more, where I am then generating the desire, the imagination, the expectation for what is next. I don't know what is next. I'm going to create something new. That's all I know. I'm going to immerse myself in creative energy to really, truly expand my thoughts and my emotions into something new. So as you give yourself that as a priority every day, as you said, oh, I spent the day going out and exploring and had great conversations, and I really felt my soul with my higher self with me right there multiple times, even when I didn't think I was connected and there was my higher self. Yeah, I want more of that.
yes,
And guess what? I didn't effort. I didn't have to effort. My higher self was just there.
yes,
Now that's going to cause some discomfort for anyone who's more comfortable with being in control. The allowing part of really receiving from higher self, from soul, from spirit, from God and Goddess. That's uncomfortable. What if I'm not enough? What if I can't respond? What if I screw it up? That's the lesser self's concerns. Your higher self's not worried about you screwing things up. Your higher self already knows the future that you're living into is one of passion and power and magic and beauty. Your higher self's not worried about the future. And then it becomes a question of why are you? What has you so certain that your worry is more real than your higher self's confidence in your optimal future? And you really want to look at that. Wow. I probably need to have a little humility here that I don't know what tomorrow will bring.
mm,
That I think I know how things are, that I'm right about it being negative. Because you know that's not who you truly are. When you're in Me the More, you're positive, you're optimistic, you're full of creative energy. You can create anything. And that is the more real. But there is a consensus belief, get real, get negative, that you have to disengage from every once in a while.
Every once in a while.
Yeah.
I,
In your case, right now, okay, I'm going to do it right now. Get real and expand.
oh,
And I answer my soul's urge to grow. Because that's why I'm here. That's what's relevant. Does that help?
yes, I noticed that, a way has always been for me to think of the absolute worst that could possibly happen. I mentioned this before once, and feel that if I can imagine that, then it'll be all right. I'll be better. But something happened when I got COVID in 22. I think I just don't have any. I don't have the confidence that. I mean, that's not a way to do it, but um, it's just. I seem to have lost the magic. I think I was so couldn't believe that I could get COVID, and then I had to go to hospital with some low thing, and apparently I was on the brink of death, or it didn't feel like it, and it was just kind of. I think I've lost my magic, and I'm just thinking about that today. That it just feels very difficult to get there. But on the other hand, the thing that's so coming at me from Facebook is all these new ideas that you can just have some drops and regrow your teeth, and just put a patch on your knee and regrow your joints, and regrow your hearing, and all those wonderful, wonderful things, and they're just flooding me. And I was just thinking, well, I mean, if I just imagine doing that with any of the any of the problem that I've got, just that, all right, well, I'll put some of these drops on that problem and let it grow in a different way. Is that a
Yes, do it in the more real first. See it working.
yes? No, I was thinking about, um, but I was just thinking about these things that are coming at me, and when you say expand,
Yes. So you have expanded, or they wouldn't be coming at you.
no,
Then you get to
sorry,
pick and choose. So the illusion reflects back your raw materials.
yeah,
So your beliefs, your attitudes, choices, decisions, thoughts, and feelings are all reflected in the illusion. And it's a continuum. There's the no change all the way to brilliant change is reflected. But more and more automatically in your illusion, you're being fed the information that everything is different now. Medicine is impacted by technology.
yeah.
Human consciousness is evolving. There's ideas that are being manifest now that weren't possible when you were a kid. Things have changed. You, the map maker magicians, have created change. And it's reflected now in the consensus. And it's going to be more and more and more exponential change. And it's because you dreamed it. I want it to be easier. I want it to be more elegant. I want it to be with harm to none.
I know it's so exciting, and I'm thinking I'm not going to make it, and that's just so not exciting. because
So the thought, I'm not going to make it.
yeah,
Are you spending any time seeing yourself having what you want?
not enough,
Not at all.
not at all.
Yeah, it gets you off the hook.
Yeah,
Instead, you're spending time in the loss before it even happens.
yeah,
And so you want to look at, okay, what is the loss that I need to end? What is the sorrow that never ends? I need to end it. I need to be done with it. I need to make peace with it. The time that's wasted, the dreams that were lost, the possibilities that I saw for myself that never happened. See, there's a you that is the dreamer that feels unfulfilled, a younger you, an adolescent you that was going to change the world. And now here you are, and it is changing. It has changed. But he wanted it then. He didn't want to wait. So you need to reconcile that. You need to be with him and say, look, we did it. Yeah, it took longer than we thought, but we've done it. We've created it. And you can have it in your reality way before I have it. And let him have that dream so that you benefit from the energy, the resonance, the wonder, and the joy. So take that time and be with him. All right. And we do have a few more. So we're going to move on. We love you so.
thank you, thank you, thank you.
So, Helen, where do we begin?
So I had a very strange experience yesterday. My cousin Sawad passed away 2 nights ago, and which is a blessing. She's late 80s, and so I was sad, but it's a blessing. But for a lot of my family, I was the first to know, so I needed to call around. And so I'm calling, I had to let her sister know. And I'm calling different people. And then Harry says to me, well, you need to call now. And I'm like, I mean, I really genuinely couldn't think of it. And then he was like, you got to call your mother. And so it was really fascinating because I wasn't, I think I've like changed the reality of my child and adolescence so much. She really wasn't, I didn't do it to be disrespectful. She just, it wasn't in my consciousness. So that was really weird. And then, I couldn't get a hold of her by phone. The phone line was busy. So finally, I'm like, I guess I have to call the police to do a wellness check. So, uh, it turns out they're changing the phone system, and my brother won't let the phone company in the house to do whatever tweaking they need to do. So, there's no phone anymore. Like he just keeps shrinking her world. And um and so I had to deal the police officer is very alarmed, and things have deteriorated a lot more than they have been. And like, even worse, as you'd expect. Um and so I was talking to the Chris earlier about, you know, uh I'm very clear I don't want to get involved. I want this police officer to deal with it or somebody in the county to deal with it. But what is it about this for me? And that Chris was saying, Mom and Edward have been very intertwined in previous lifetimes, and they're trying to kind of unwind it. And for me, it's about every time it happens, it's about me needing to go in and feel more self-love and go deeper in self-love. And so I've been trying to think all day, what does that feel like? If because that's going to a place that I don't know, um, or that I don't remember. And, right now I'm nesting a lot. I'm buying lots of stuff. So it's Black Friday and I'm just shopping a lot and buying myself, new electronic toys. And I'm definitely kind of setting more boundaries with Harry and my new housemate about, um, you know, having more time to do what I want to do. The animals are being more respectful of me. So I'm just curious, like, um, what, 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 how do I get to that deeper level of self-love that maybe I'm not aware of?
Okay, so the Helen that loves herself more has this illusion of Mother and Edward still causing problems.
Mhm.
So, what do you make it mean about yourself that they're having their own little issue, you might say? Relationship. They have a relationship. They have, and Edward is responsible for her. That was your mother's choice, was it not?
Yes.
What do you make it mean about yourself that she chose him?
I'm not lovable. I'm not good enough.
What could you make it mean
Um,
instead on a positive note?
she's keeping me out of the shit show. I mean,
Yeah, that you're free of an obligation that you didn't want anyway, and that it's really not about you. It's about them. So when you think that thought, does it help or does it hurt?
it helps.
Yes. And
I
that is loving
and
yourself more, to have different interpretations than what they used to be. They used to be, oh, I'm rejected, I'm abandoned, they don't love me, I'm not as lovable as Edward. That's what you used to have, but you've healed so much of that. Your child and your adolescent are free of that reality. And if they're not, go take care of it so that
when
you,
we
the
when we did
spiritual
the
adult,
when we did the meditation and I went back to see the child and the adolescent, they're like happy. They're
yes.
like, woohoo. My child was like, I want more bubbles. Let's like blow some bubbles. And they both were, it was also interesting. They both are really happy right now. Uh, they're not bothered at all. They've moved on. I think they're really rooted in their new life. And mom's not there. And it's also interesting, my parents, my dad loved me. He wasn't the best of dads, but he loved me. And I went away to boarding school when I was 13. And I think there was a part of them that just knew they weren't good parents and they just needed to get me out of there and let me on my way, which, 13 is a young age to leave the house, but I think I was way better off to be out in the world on my own than at home. And I think they knew that. And it was a little scary at that age, but I was better off to have that freedom to go live my own life.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Thank you.
Yes, we love you so. You're right on track. Wonderful. All right. And Warren.
Yeah. Wow. I like being at the end of these sessions because already what I was going to talk about has changed 4 times. And as I benefit from what the conversations are before me. So I'm going to skip past number 3. I'm going to go to number 4, maybe draw on number 2. But basically, basically, holy cow, there's still 12 people on here. I did a tarot reading, very significant one for me. I do these every month for, for decades. And this was the anniversary time of my late wife passing and her birthday. So it's very significant. And it's a 10-card reading. And the last 2 cards, let's say, and it was the 10-card reading was great. I mean, up to card 8, it's blind. So when it comes up this way, it's like, wow. Then the last 2 cards were the hopes and fears, card number 9, and the card number 10 was the best outcome. Well, card number 9 had 2 cards stuck to it. And also I was compelled to expect 2 cards. But the 2 cards were the 8 of Swords and the 2 of Swords. Now, I'm pulling it up because I track all these over all these decades and I track them on a spreadsheet so I can look and see what was said. And so the 2 of Swords is, don't confuse me with the facts. I've already made up my mind, and the mentality is false balance. And the image is a woman, young woman, with blindfolds on, and her swords, one in each hand. Her wrists are crossed over her heart. Consider both sides. Don't open to intuition, into my shadow, evaluate my options, overcome procrastination, heart chakra, release it, and choose. Huge shift in my higher self role now. Never saw 2 of Swords as welcoming. The other card was the 8 of Swords. Here, and I wish Francis was listening, I'd relate. The female image isn't a younger woman with blindfolds on with her swords crossed. It's a woman over 55 with blindfolds on. By the way, blindfolds over her eyes and her mouth. Bound with 3 thick layers of ropes. Under her arms, over her arms, over her armpits, yay, right? And 3 times, and then binding down across her groin, and then across her thighs and knees. And the 8 of Swords. Restricted thinking. That's what the swords are restricted thinking. And all 8 swords, 4 on each side, are plunged into the earth. Plunged into the earth. And that is immobilized by overwhelm and old attitudes and fear of failure holding me back. Indecision. Share thoughts with others. Aside, can you imagine sharing thoughts with others? on a YouTube channel. It's like, anyway, um, need confidence. And it's recurring, but never in the number 9 position where my hopes and fears were there. And then it gets interesting. The number 10 card. Best outcome given above, and there's 9 cards. Prior to number 8, they were all like, wow, yeah. Number 9, the 4 of Swords. And Norman Greer, a knight, is lying on a slab with 4 swords pointed over him. But one of them, which I, for the first time, noticed in this conversation today, one of the 4 swords is behind clouds in the distance. A decision had to be made. The words are time out for introspection, peace, sweet peace. Don't take it personally. Reassess new priorities and attitude. Look inward for the source of lethargy. And this kind of correlates to what I was going to originally talk about, which is I have been spending more time now on the top tier, not the bottom tier. My God, not even the middle tier, but the top tier, which starts with well-being and then moves on to optimism and then even on to hope and joy and beyond. Then it's been a journey these last many months, maybe years, but many months. And by the way, Francis, I do relate to the life challenge issue. Passing the veil of death on purpose, a choice we made, you made, I made in our own ways. Significant. Honor that. So what I'm seeing now is almost a movement where humans are able to use the information and love you provide, among others, to make it through a point of, mathematically, it'd be called a point of inflection. And a point of inflection is when the graph comes up to here and it goes skyrockets. And then it goes in the next exit to in below skyrocket, the opposite. But there's a point of inflection. Is it actually a point of downward, or is it yet another point of inflection upward that we're trying to grasp? And that's what I think you're providing for us here in this group. And there's 12 of us now. And thank you. So, any further advice on my tarot reading?
So we just want to review the position. So 8 was 2 cards, 2 and 8 swords.
No, eight was actually eight was the position of the magician. 9 was the 2 of swords and the 8 of swords together.
Okay.
And then 10 was the Four of Swords, the best outcome. So 9 was the Two of Swords, my hopes and fears, of which there were 2 cards, the Eight and Two of Swords. And then 10 was the best outcome given the above, the Four of Swords, which at the time I saw it just seemed so lame. I was like, what? I, I'm, I'm, do believe now. I believe at the pinnacle of my tradition, my life, all my lifetimes. And I look back in the mirror, and there's all my lifetimes. And what, me? And my source right now, the best outcome is the Two of Swords, timeout for introspection. Jeez, that was hard. That was hard for me to buy into, right? To believe that I pull that card in a blind reading. Anyway, enough said.
All right, so let's talk about that. So, what are other possible interpretations of that Four of Swords card? One cloud, one sword behind a cloud. Who's wielding that sword?
Looks like it's me.
Or your higher self or God?
Yeah.
So as you let in, there's some mystery there. The time for introspection tends to be a time of integration. So of all the changes you have made, standing in your magician, and there are hopes and fears, the hopes coming from you the more, the fears coming from the lesser self. Will you be bound by the fears and the doubts and the worries? Which, as you say, I don't think so. That is not who I am anymore. And yet, to honor the lesser self is to reassure the lesser self, no, we have choice and we are making new choices. We have new solutions. We have the ability to go within to get new information, to get solutions, to create something new. We are not alone on this journey. Because you see, the solutions that the lesser self has are always to just take action from the place of the past. And that's where the doubt and the fear and the worry come from, because they intuitively know that the past is not enough to deal with what's coming in the future. What's coming in the future is expansion, is growth. And you require new energy from the unknown to deal with what you are manifesting next. To create it consciously, to co-create beyond the conscious creation, to use that magic requires that pause that comes from connecting, that is a form of connection. In order to connect with you the more, to be connected to higher self, to invite soul and spirit to participate, and then to receive what there is to receive from God, Goddess, requires that pause. And the knight is lying down. Is that what you described?
Yeah, right.
In a suit of armor.
Yes, right.
Yes. Has to be willing to be vulnerable.
Yes, and that's in the Morgan Greer image, but in the Waite image, this fourth sword is buried, not buried, but situated under him, under the platform he's resting on,
Yeah.
to be
I,
drawn.
I lay down my sword is one interpretation.
Yeah.
I'm willing to receive what is to come, knowing I'm protected. I have my armor. The armor will not work on a field of battle if I'm lying down. So I'm trusting that I don't have to fight.
right now.
that it's not a battle.
Yeah, at least not now.
Exactly. So as you let that be, that it's a transition card. It's choosing to go within instead of fighting.
Hmm.
Knowing you can always fight. You have that skill. You have that template at work in the consensus. You could fight. You could effort against. You could push against. But there's new ways. And the knight that has the gentle soul is always seeking how to preserve life,
Interesting.
is always clever in how to win a war and preserve life.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's a new way of being, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
And yet it is expected now. You have
yeah,
created the world where human life has value and preserving human life is a priority.
yeah, and there has to be a conquest. And even in the feminine, how it's distorted, where women need a contest of masculine energy, not a choice of their own. Fascinating.
It's changing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, as we say in Wisconsin, holy cow, this is amazing what you're doing. You're affecting change in humanity, Tara. And
We are reflecting your change to you.
no, no, your voice, your advice, your insight, you are an element of change. We're requesting it and responding. But holy cow, do you ever respond? Thank you. I mean, that's why I like to show up at the end of these conferences. I get the benefit of all those who spoke before me. And I am so grateful.
And we love you so.
Feel it. Thank you.
Yes. And this group that gathers, they are supporting you as well in these revelations. Each of you who spoke are generous in your vulnerability. And that vulnerability is only possible because of the group that gathers, the love that is there. Yes.
Hi, Tara.
Yes, dear one.
Um, so I developed bursitis in my left hip, and I've been trying to. Most of what I've recognized is it's, of course, stuck anger, and my anger is something I've been working with for several weeks directly with for the last several weeks. But in the last 2 days, I started working with the enemies into allies discussion by Lazar's.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting that well, the process is to identify your enemy or enemies and how they impact your life. Like who's running your life, basically. Who are you allowing to run your life? And so what came up today was, and I had three primarily, but the one that came up today is the one who holds the anger, and she is vicious, and she's motivated by jealousy, envy, and rage, and life's not fair to her. I mean, she's just vicious. So, very much a martyr. And she's angry at me because I haven't created the life that she wanted. So, with all this anger, I'm hoping that that's going to resolve the problem with the bursitis. And then just another note on that. It's so painful. It's really impeding my life. It's very, very painful. It's like stabbing pain. Um, and one solution, and so I've just connected futures and I'm doing the work. But the medical solution is to give me a shot of cortisone. And most of the like the PT I've been working with said he hasn't seen a person who for whom the cortisone hasn't worked. He said it's really a good solution for you since this is not relieving. And I also found yoga postures online today that seem to be good, but anything I do, any movement, like after the movement, the pain is just throbbing. So anyway, I just like whatever feedback you have on am I hitting the right points to really heal this? Oh, and the other thing is I was so confident that okay, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to do the cortisone shot. It's going to work fine. I had no doubt. And then one of my girlfriends was talking to me and she said, "How's your hip?" I said, "It's really sore." And I said, "But I'm going to get a cortisone shot. It'll be fine." And well, she said, "Don't be so sure. My mother had bursitis in her hip and she had a shot and she had to go back for another one and she had to get shots every month or something like that, which of course today they wouldn't do because it causes degeneration. But and then she said, well, I guess, she was in her 80s and she wasn't very fit. And I said, I'm not in my 80s and I'm pretty fit and I'm not your mother's situation. And then and this friend said, well, this is what happened to her and it didn't really work and you should be prepared that it might not work. I said, I'm not in my 80s. I'm fit. But what bothers me, Tara, is it really affected me. It affected my belief that this is going to work. And so that's like an ongoing theme that I doubt myself when I hear somebody else's opinion. I just hate that about myself. But I want to take in that perspective and milk it for what it's worth. Why am I submitting to this doubtful person? Why am I even friends with her? All kinds of things. So anyway, whatever feedback you have, because I'm determined that I am not going to live the rest of my life with this problem. I'm just not going to do it. And I know there's a solution.
All right. And so to begin with, okay, who are you giving your authority to is one of the topics to look at. So the doctor is confident, has worked many times, has a broad base of knowledge and data points. Many patients have benefited. The friend has one data point, her mother. Which one should be given a little bit more credit?
Right, exactly. The
So
doctor.
as far as supporting the belief that this could work for me. Now, is it a guarantee? No, it's not a guarantee. If you're looking for a guarantee, will you ever make a decision about what to do?
No, and I've been tossing that. I was tossing this around for several weeks.
Yes. So if you so just be aware that the lesser self wants the guarantee. And so
Yeah,
then creates the voice of doubt in the friend as part
gotcha.
of your illusion. But you, the more, has created a possible solution that has quite a bit of success behind it. And so it is, from that standpoint, a positive choice. Now, as a metaphysician, are you judging yourself that you need to get medical intervention?
I was, but it hurts so much. I'm
Yes.
willing.
I want to be out of pain. Okay, so let's look and see what is pain. Pain is a separation from and a longing for.
Right.
So, what are you feeling separate from is the first part of the question. And the second is, what do I long for? What would, if I had whatever it is I long for, would give me a sense of wholeness, completeness, peace, whatever it is. So,
Well,
you've been talking about anger. Well, I figured out it's anger. And give yourself that credit. I'm following my intuition, following my higher self's guidance. Look at anger. And my adolescent is still extremely angry. Has and isn't just angry about what's going on with her. She's angry at me and what I haven't done. Did we interpret that correctly?
oh, you totally did. I mean, she is livid.
Yeah. So here you are. The you that is younger is angry that you didn't accomplish what should have been accomplished by now.
Yes.
So there are judgments there. There were expectations that were dashed, hopes, dreams, visions that didn't come to pass. So there's disappointment. Behind the anger is disappointment. And where there's disappointment, there's sorrow. So as you do a process where I want to end the grief of the dreams that didn't happen so that I can open myself up to new dreams, which you've been working on for yourself.
Yes, I have.
Yeah, you've been redesigning your life. You're opening to new dreams and visions, manifesting something new for yourself. This is popping up not because you're bad and wrong, but because it's a reminder to end the grief of the dreams that didn't happen for your adolescent. Some
Yeah.
of those dreams aren't appropriate to who you became in the end. And some of them would have been really wonderful, and maybe you'll resurrect those. There's no requirement to do either. But as you go sit with your adolescent after we finish speaking, it doesn't have to take long. Go with your higher self and revisit her and say, look, I hear you're very angry, but I want to be reminded of the dreams that didn't happen so that I can choose whether to reactivate them or not. And those that are really meaningful to you, you get to go create. You give her the permission to pursue those in her reality, whatever they are, whether you agree with them or not. So you're going to select or deselect what doesn't serve you. So you're going to hear about all of them and you're going to say, oh, that reminds me of what I do want to create. It doesn't have to be the same thing because you have grown, you have changed, you have evolved, and you are not who you were at her age. And the dreams that you have now are going to be more than what she could dream. But because of who she is as an adolescent, and she's just filled with that time of eternal youth from soul, that energy of soul, there was communication, communion with soul in that time that you want to be reminded of. And just let her share what that was like and what she expected out of it. And then let her create some of that in her reality. And you take with you that level of communion with soul. That's what's needed. That will end the pain. And then the doctor can deal with the physiology, reduce the inflammation, because there won't be the need for pain to remind you of the pain in the past. Does that help?
Oh my God, it's so beautiful. Thank you.
Yes,
Yeah.
wonderful. We love
And
you
I
so.
and I did ask her just before I came on, um, in meditation. I was just listening to her, and then I said, "What can I do for you? How can I help you?" And then she was starting to show me some of the dreams she had. But
Beautiful.
I would not be the person I am today if I had followed that path. It just would not have worked out.
Yes.
And
So now
I would,
you can make peace in your adult self, but she can still have those dreams. There's nothing wrong with her having
right.
them in her reality.
Yeah, I said, well, you can have that. You know, here they are. And it was kind of um, instigated by seeing Wicked 2, the second Wicked movie, and the romance in that movie. And so she was all, oh, I wanted that. I wanted my Prince Charming.
Yes.
And it really, as a spiritual adult, which I'm becoming, hopefully, um, I don't really want a Prince Charming. I want me to be the Prince Charming. I want to have an equal partner, not, well, whatever.
Beautiful.
Yeah, thank you so much. That was so beautiful. Thank you very,
Yes.
very
Yes. And your reference to Prince Charming is really a reference to being the values of the knight, of the
much.
Knights of the Round Table, the valor, the courage, the love, and so many more qualities that you yourself relate to. And you have had many lifetimes of embodying those values. And in this one, you are the culmination where love is the priority.
And I have found that I just want to tell this quickly. So I'm really getting to be very much more conscious when she's playing, when I have her playing in my reality, or when my martyrhood is playing. And when I recognize where I'm at with that, I just sort of mentally lean into the love. And I don't even have to say anything. The energy shifts instantly. So I was having a conversation with someone over the weekend, and it was not going well. It was like he said this, and then I said that, and it was getting into this who's right thing. And so I just caught myself and I leaned back into the love. And immediately the other person said to me, well, this is a really great conversation. I think we really understand each other. Like, oh
Beautiful.
my God. It's so beautiful to have to have life be that way. And to let go of the control of what's going to happen, but just leaning into the love.
Yes.
It's that intention, just that intention works. Yeah, so it was
Wonderful.
really good. Really, really good. And then I was just one more thing is, so today I had some shrubbery trimmed, and I started crying because this one bush, which is very large, they were trimming it and it needed to be trimmed, but it just made me so sad. And I just thought, I just don't want to hurt anybody. Just don't want to do that. And I'm thinking, oh my God, what am I going to do? These guys standing around and I'm here crying over them cutting down they didn't cut it down, but they were just trimming it. But I just feel such a connection to trees and nature. And, well, anyway,
Beautiful. Beautiful. Yes. Your perceptions are more open, your connection, your communing in at levels that is more obvious now. You have words, you have a consciousness about it.
Yeah.
It adds to your experience, and therefore you're also aware of pain.
Yes.
Now, the plants understand that what you're doing is for the best, for the environment that you're in. That there is a requirement to look a certain way as you really let that be okay and just simply ask the permission of the plants, get their agreement.
Yeah.
And as you do that, it restores that sense of dominion. Allow them to communicate back. Oh, yeah, we understand this is necessary for us in this environment.
Yeah, I think she was okay with it after it was
Yes.
all done.
Beautiful. All right. We love you so. And thank you for sharing. So
Thank
beautiful, so wonderful. Each of you bringing forth what is needed at this time, shifts and changes, and recognizing I have changed, I have grown, and I have the help that I need. Beautiful. All right. And so we go for now. As we bring Katrina back, we go with love and peace. Until next time.